Today we look at one of the great beloved songs of humanity, Psalm 23, spoken so often, especially at funerals, but it is a psalm that is meant for the living especially. It carries with it such deep knowledge of the divine, such intimacy with the holy, such openness of faith. It gives us the very peace that it speaks of. It is an expression of a state of mind, of a state of heart that is transformative of daily life. We begin with the reading. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The very first words, the Lord is my shepherd. That affirmation of such a truth, that knowledge of dependence, that utter childlike trust. The metaphor of the shepherd is perfect, for the sheep are creatures that become lost so easily, will wander off all the time, straight into the jaws of the wolves. But the shepherd, they will follow. They recognize his voice. They know that he will lead them to the right place. So even in their passivity, in their lack of attention, they have this living compass to keep them safe. Are we not so like that? The need to find a direction, the direction, even when we are completely lost, especially then, to know that there is a path. There is a way to a life of joy, tranquility, and peace, fulfillment, just in the knowledge of the presence of the shepherd. And this is the very thing that humanity has lost, this sense of a loving presence, of one that will in fact give its life for its beloved sheep, that will protect them at all costs. Now to some this may seem paradoxical when their life becomes filled with trauma, drama, brokenness. But remember that the shepherd is not a puppet master, but rather one that you can turn to in the good times and the bad times, and is always there to lead you back to the safe place. The mistake that is made so often, especially by atheists, is the simplistic and ignorant assumption that God makes all things happen, which is a half-truth, a subtle truth, a reduced truth, to a mechanistic universe, so that they will go from no belief in God, no shepherd whatever in their lives, to a car accident where someone is badly hurt or dies becomes God's fault. Surely you know that argument. And so they become all the more justified in turning away and disbelieving. But if they understand that even in the presence of the shepherd there are still wolves, there will still be the market where the sheep will end up. But during the time that they are in his care, they can trust that he will indeed care for them. And that care is not, God forbid, a good news of prosperity, but a leading to the still waters. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. You can lie down in green pastures when you are in solitary confinement, in the most unjust of situations, when everything has gone wrong. You can be led to still waters, even though all your dreams are shattered and you've been betrayed, you've been assaulted, you've been demeaned, yet the still waters can still be found, and only the shepherd can take you there. Only the knowledge of that living goodness and purity can make the unacceptable acceptable, tolerable. We constantly miss these opportunities to remember the shepherd who will take us where we need to go, where we truly belong. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and this is a truth for all of us, our very mortality on this brief journey is the valley of the shadow of death, but of course even more so when we are faced with circumstances that are death-dealing on so many levels. Though we walk through all of these impossible emotional situations that are destructive to us, that are crushing us, even then, we know that He is with us. We are told, I will fear no evil. This is a supernatural strength, because it is the shepherd's strength, because it is that invisible guidance, that invisible presence that makes all the difference, that can overcome all things. The light is in the world, and the darkness has not overcome it. This cosmic truth becomes our truth when we turn to the shepherd, when we know that our need is absolute. And this turning to the shepherd, this trusting the shepherd, is not a mental faith or a tradition we hold on to. It is a knowledge of the deepest kind. Like the infant in the arms of its parent, in this beautiful quote from Leo Tolstoy, this infant who doesn't know who holds it, but knows that it is loved. This utter dependence, vulnerability, letting go, gives us the courage beyond the greatest warrior's courage, walking through the valley of the shadow of death and fearing no evil. This is the power of the shepherd, for you are with me. To hold this as the greatest truth of all, the very knowledge of our existence, the fact that we exist, means you are with me. We have taken existence so for granted that we have lost track of its miracle and wonder. If there is a created creature, there is a creator, and not a distant one, not a result of physics and chemistry, but a manifestation of love. This the great poets know, and we must know it too deep in our hearts. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. They comfort me. The power of God, the guidance and presence, which is the very nature of Holy Spirit, the Comforter, the Consoler. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Even in the worst of circumstances, we are helped. How many times have we experienced that all things work for good for those who love God? And this is the pearl of great price of the mystics. This complete, childlike, lamb-like trust in the providence of God and the ultimate victory of God, which is the message itself of the resurrection. My cup runneth over. We are meant to live that. This superabundance of peace, still waters, green pastures, no fear, bubbling over because it is so infinite and we can be so filled with it. That is the result of such a devoted, simple trust in that goodness and presence, visible in beauty, in kindness, in all that is good in this world. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Goodness and mercy is the shepherd. This is the ultimate revelation of Christ, the nature of God. And why do we live lives without it, unconscious of it? Because we have not opened ourselves with that complete dependence on it, that daring to risk it all, that letting go towards the one Jesus called Abba, the first Aramaic words out of the mouth of the baby. This is the faith we are called to live in all circumstances, beyond all likes and dislikes, the ultimate desire of the soul. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That is what awaits us, the spiritual dimension. But that dimension is present already. In the peace we will know beyond this mortal coil, we can know now. This is what that psalm tells us. This is what a human being's experience of the divine even before Jesus walked this earth. This knowing that comes with our spirit, and that our mind and culture and environment and wounds shut out, even though it is in the deepest part of us. The Lord is my shepherd. That is an expression of courage, dedication, strength beyond all that we can muster in this world. It is the unique desire for the unique one, from whom we come, to whom we go, and who leads us all the way.